Hey, everybody. Welcome to the July 7th EAC meeting. Do I have a call to order?
Yes. Go to order.
Call to order, and I'll second it, or whatever I have to do to get the meeting started.
Did I send the meeting minutes out? Or did somebody send the meeting minutes out from last month?
Meeting
I
minutes.
honestly don't remember until I got to the computer today and I was like, I don't know if I sent them or not. So
I don't think you did. Gene sent them to Jim. Jim sent them to me. I sent them to you. So 3 people have seen it. Somya could see it before.
We can move on to the next topic and I'll send the meeting minutes.
All right, so what, you just, do you have them, Linda, I guess? So
I have them, yeah. No, I did see them. I honestly thought I sent them. It's been that kind of a month.
All right, well, why don't we just put that on the agenda for next meeting again? We'll review 2 of them then.
Oh, that's fine too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna invasive species ordinance. I sent an email to Jim Majewski. He hasn't gotten back to me. I also sent him an email for the CAD files of Mirror Lake Road so I can find out where exactly in reality the storm sewer line is, to know where to put the trees. So I'm still waiting on that.
But
Okay.
it's pretty obvious if you go there.
No, it's obvious, but I mean, just to be able to know how many trees to even put in, we need to have some kind of a design, and I need to know where the line is to get an idea of the design. So
Yeah, is that, well, we're going to be talking about that in item 3. So, but I looked, Alan sent a picture of the stormwater in inlets or outlets, and I don't think that's any issue at all, because with trees like this, if you're, I guess we're talking about 2 types, maybe some understory and then maybe that formal alley of maples, but they would be in 20 to 25 foot from the road anyway. So I don't think it's an issue, but you're right, Linda. We can't just say, oh, it's not going to be an issue. We got to know.
yeah, we have to know. They're going to want to know. I mean, in the end, they're going to do a 1 call before they go to plant anyway, but we need to have some kind of an idea, just to know that, you know, I don't want to I don't want to over order trees or under order trees or whatever.
Right.
So I get that.
So you're going to get it from Jim Majewski?
He said he would send it to me. He said he had, he thinks he has it.
Good. All right.
Alan, you didn't want to look at the idea of the swale, right?
Yeah, Somya thought it would be nice if we dug a swale to put the trees in, so the water would go where the trees are in the swale, right? If you look at that photo, there's a swale where the pipe is in the grates, the stormwater grates, and then the ground goes up, and about 20, 25 feet, it's a little bit elevated, which would have the advantage of making the trees look higher. I mean, you know, but to take that elevated area out just seems like it cost a fortune to get backhoes and bulldozers in there. And
well, we don't know that. It's a matter of cost versus benefit, not just cost. And I don't think our township is lacking in funds.
Well, I mean, I could ask if there's a problem. They're not going to do it unless there's a problem there. And I could ask Jim.
Yeah, I mean, unless we broach the topic, we won't know whether they think it's a good idea. Maybe they, you know, they take it up. Anyway, the engineers are looking at bioretention basins. This is just another bioretention basin, just a long shape. So it's not outside the purview of what they're already considering around the township. If it's viable and it's doable, fine. If it is not, fine, but at least we should give it its due.
Well, yeah, I'll run it by him next time I talk to him and see what he says. But personally, you know, after being involved with the township for 15 years, I'd be shocked if they go for this.
Yeah, but it's our job to put across things that are shocking as well, right? As long as they are worthwhile. If they're not worthwhile, I can agree with you. Yeah. If it's worthwhile, we should be shocking them.
Yeah.
I can speak to Jim as well and see what he.
And actually, Linda could broach the topic
I know,
you
once he
talk to
gets
him.
me,
About the cat files. Yeah.
yeah, once he gets me the CAD files,
You can look at it, yeah.
we can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's the fall planting. In the King's Kingdom,
I just haven't had a chance to call about the
still
trees.
happening, yeah, still early. All right,
All right, but as far as the fall planning is concerned, I mean, where do we stand like that? When the last time we talked to Suzanne, she said that there were issues because, you know, we don't have a current manager right now and who's going to do the work and that kind of stuff. But, you know, I mean, the township doesn't stop because we're looking for a new manager. So I assume that somebody has, you know, authority for that. I mean, if we're talking 30 or 40 maple trees, plus maybe a few selected understory, and that's something that we wanted to get into a little too. Alan and I looked, and along the creek, they really don't need hardly any other trees at all. I mean, there's pretty good, you know, bush growth there, some small trees. I think the main thing is just, you know, that idea of Maple Row at Patterson Farm, which would be like 30, 40 trees. And at about 2.5 inch to 3 inch caliper, you're talking maybe $15,000–16,000. Now
There's the problem.
9 or
If
10.
If it goes over 10, then they have to put it out to competitive bid.
Yeah, well, you know, so everybody says that like it's a big, you know, boogeyman all the time. But what's I don't see the issue. I mean, you know, we got
It's just a timing issue,
Send it.
though.
no, you got to give them time.
It's more of a timing issue. They're gonna have to figure out who they're gonna send it to, or they're just gonna have to send it to like a bunch of people, then go through everything. And then if they don't get it approved in time, then we can't just order trees and then have them brought to the property. Like, we need to know timeline.
All right, well, maybe what we've done before in situations like that is, let's say we order the trees from Fernbrook at maybe $200 a tree, that's $8,000, and then we pay somebody to plant them. And that might be another, you know,
Well,
$1,000.
doesn't Public Works come out and dig the holes? They did that at
Yeah,
Patterson.
Public Works comes out to dig the holes when we do volunteer projects.
Yeah, yeah.
If we do a volunteer project, if this is something that we're putting out to, but if these are the big trees, we can't do that as a volunteer project.
Uh-huh.
Who's
No,
moving
but
the
you can
trees?
get, but can't you get just bids from somebody else? I mean, who, I guess Kenny did some of those others, and then
Did the other two last year.
who will, you know, give out bids for maybe 30 or 40 trees. So does that suffice if you break it in two? Then you're
I
below
don't know the
the limit?
I don't know the deal behind that. That's how they did it with the ones from last year. They broke it into two different projects. One was the trees and one was the planting. But if we're looking at 40 trees and the trees themselves are gonna go over $10,000,
No, the
then we
trees
have the competitive.
themselves, yeah, I don't think they would.
Well, we could make sure by ordering just under 10,000.
Yeah.
All right. So we're not thinking about any volunteer plantings in the fall.
Monica actually asked me, since Greg's position has not been filled yet, and she's kind of running both right now, she asked that we don't do a volunteer project this year.
Okay.
So if we
Well-
do two projects that other people plant, at least we're planting two sites.
Right. We can make sure it's done right.
All right, so how do we,
And then
who do
just
we,
do
all
a volunteer project next year.
right, so who do we ask then if we want to, let's say, plant 30 or 40 trees in the fall? Who has to give the go-ahead as far as that? Because
Go through Monica.
if you break it in two, each segment would probably be below $10,000. So who has to approve something like that?
We would go through Monica.
I'm sorry, Linda, I can't hear you.
We'd go through Monica.
Okay. Now, is that something you want to, you or Alan as the chair want to, talk to her about that?
No, she already knows about these projects. It's just a matter of, we need to find out the costs. And I need to get in touch with Fernbrook about Kids Kingdom. And I need CAD files for Mirror Lake Road.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, now it's all coming back to
So
me.
I can't do anything. Like, I can't just ask her about this right now without having any kind of cost to put in front of her.
Yeah, I remember now that you were dealing with Kevin at Fernbrook, and he's supposed to have his inventory done, I guess, at the end of this month, and then he should be able to have some firm numbers for you.
Hopefully, he said between June and July, so I'm hoping to call him in the next week or so. So Kids Kingdom, are we just looking at 25 trees? Because I think the original plan had more than that.
Yeah, and then I think the reason for that again was to keep it below $10,000. I was out there that day with Greg and Monica and you, Linda, of course. And I think originally it was like in the middle 30s, and then because of the cost, I guess Monica was of the opinion that if we could keep it, down maybe to around 25, then it would be below that threshold. And I think 25 trees still pretty much accomplishes what we want to accomplish out there.
Yeah. Still think it'd be nice if we got some around the Gaga cord, I think they call it, that.
I know, but I don't think they want to put anything there because of just people having it open for like other events.
It's Community Day. They put some tents there. But that seemed kind of silly to me. One day a year, no plant. But whatever, seems like you could work around that. We can talk to Monica.
All right, well, let's just go to land use then.
Okay, 2 items, the 1566 subdivision, they sent in a revised preliminary final plan, and I sent out draft comments on it. It wasn't that much different than the initial one. And there were only 4 comments, the main one being the second one about the tree replacement ordinance. They owe 754 trees, and they're making an argument that they really aren't obligated because there's no place to plant the trees. So I made an argument that they were obligated and they need to plant the trees.
Who's
And then
this, Alan?
Huh?
Well, would they be saying there's no obligation? I mean, our ordinance.
They're referring to this court case in Solebury where there was a lot that was completely wooded. And the court said, well, if your lot's completely wooded, you don't have to plant replacement trees because there's no place to plant them. And you can't force them to plant them off site. We're just saying that there is room on this site, especially around the ponds there. There's a lot of room you could plant trees.
Right.
And so it can be done. If they don't want to do it, they can voluntarily put the money in the tree bank. We're not forcing them to do that. Yeah. But then at the end, the last part of the comments, a quid pro quo where we only make it 350 replacement trees. If they agree to not further subdivide the new lot 7, which is a big lot, 14 acres that has the pond in it. And if they put a conservation easement on the wetlands and wetlands buffer, it's about 3.5 acres. So I'm interested to see if they'll go for that or not. We'll see. So can I send the comments out?
I had no issues with your comments.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I read them and I think they're excellent. Sure, I think you should send them out.
Yeah. Sumya, are you okay?
Yeah.
You with it? Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and send them out. I believe this might be going before the Planning Commission in the near future. Their next meeting, it's July 11th, I think. So I'm going to send them out real soon so the Planning Commission can have them. No discussion. Then the other project is on Linhurst Road. I think I mentioned this one before, but now they have an official plan in. It's only 3 acres. It's got an existing older house that they're gonna fix up and put 2 other. And other than some trees, there's not much in the way of environmental concerns. If you drive by it, you can check it out. It's where Quarry Road hits Lindenhurst. That T there. It's on the west side. But comments are due August 1st, so I'll take a look at it and send out some draft comments, and anybody else who wants to can take a look at it too.
Yeah, isn't there some kind of a nursery there?
No,
Small nursery?
no, I walked around the site a couple months ago, and it's just an old house that nobody lives in. And a bunch of trees. It is sloping. There are some steep slopes, but it's not a, I would call a unique property.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to mention, it's not on the agenda, is I sent out a draft of comments on revising our stormwater ordinances. And I think I sent those out to everybody. And these are just suggestions on how the township could strengthen our stormwater ordinances based on the Pennsylvania DEP 2022 model stormwater ordinance. It's things they suggest. The first 2 on the letter aren't required, but they can be done if the township wants to do it. So we might as well do it since it'll make our stormwater ordinances a little stronger. So put those in. Did anybody read that and have any questions? Because yeah.
And I don't have any questions. I think, I had a discussion with you on that, Alan, as well.
Yeah.
Some of them they're absolutely required, but the others, the optional ones, when I talked to you about it, that seemed the thing to do is recommend them as well, because it just strengthens the ordinance.
Right. And I mentioned it to Jim Majewski, and he was worried that they wouldn't have time to incorporate it into the ordinances, because you got to know exactly where to put it in the ordinance and number it and all that. And so that's what I did in the comments. So hopefully they'll be put in. I think they vote on this in September. So there's some time between now and September where they could add them. But we'll see. We'll put it out there. We get something out of it. And that's it for land use.
Okay. Not sure we can really talk about plastic reduction since Suzanne's not here. I know Jonas sent out another email right before he left, and I didn't get any response from anybody from the board. I don't know if, I don't know what's going on with that. I think the only thing we can do is keep bugging them and stuff.
Yeah. Was Kevin going to take that over? Or-
That was my understanding.
Yeah. So I don't think Kevin's on the call. So.
Just as an aside, on the way up to Vermont, we stopped to get gas, and went in and got a donut or something, and there are a few other things, and I figured they'd put them in a bag, not thinking. And then the woman said, Jersey now, the whole state, no paper bag, no plastic at all. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I think Philadelphia got approved also, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philadelphia too. Spreading. Got to get it to Bucks County. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, it's too bad Suzanne's not on the call because she could give us an update.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so fall recycling event date. Do we have an idea?
Well, yeah, I threw out a couple dates last meeting, one being October 29th, and Suzanne thought maybe we should do the 22nd because they're collecting brush or the recycle yard behind the township. But I'm going to be coming back from the Redwoods that weekend, so that wouldn't work for me. So if it's okay, can we do the 29th? Yeah. I know the weather's gonna be good that day. I looked at the forecast.
You know that for a fact, right now on June 7th?
So
And we'll be around, so,
you'll be around and
yep.
Sumya, are you gonna be around, as far as you know?
Wait, what date is this?
Yeah, it's too way out for me to have a plan.
Okay. October 29th. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll be here.
it's a Saturday. Halloween's 2 days away from it, Monday, so,
So we can wear costumes.
yeah, that's the idea.
I
Yeah,
can't confirm anything yet until I know what my daughter's lacrosse schedule is.
What are you gonna do when she finishes lacrosse?
I still have like 3 years. I'm like set for a while. And then she's got college.
Yeah, all right, so we'll plan on that, and maybe, I guess it's too early to advertise it. But in August, yeah, maybe in mid-August, Sumya, you can put something on the Facebook page. I'll make a flyer for it, and I'll send it out, and maybe you can post it then, and then post it again, early October. And I'll put flyers out in the township maybe in middle of September. Get the word out. But yeah, we got plenty of time. 3 months away.
Can we bring up recycling in the parks, or do we not know what's going on with that right now?
But did you see that email from Gary Sanderson to Jonah? I think you were copied. Yeah, you were copied. July 6th, 1:57 PM. Yeah, you got it, didn't you, Gene?
I
You
did, and but I didn't read the whole thing, the whole thing. I think we're leaving that day. So I was busy. So what did he say?
Well, Gary Sanderson, who I believe is a member of the Pennsbury School Board,
Right,
said, Jonah, sorry to hear you're leaving. Good luck in your future endeavors. And then he said that he had talked to the superintendent of Pennsbury, and they're ready to commit not only to a recycling program, but to a district-wide sustainability plan. And it would have 6 parts. What is it? Education for sustainability, waste reduction, which is recycling, energy and water conservation, sustainable transportation, establishment of sustainable committees for each school building. And-
wow.
Yeah, a whole bunch of things. And then it says at the end, as September approaches, I will be in contact to request your help with the committee. Now, Jonah's going to be in Massachusetts, so I don't know how that's going to work out.
Well, I thought, again, Kevin was
Oh, Kevin's going to be okay.
in his footsteps, so that might be something Kevin might want to get involved in.
Yeah. And so it's good to give responsibilities to people who aren't at the meeting. That always works.
That's right. I can't say no. But
I
you know,
can also-
on that topic, I was going to talk briefly in open discussion. I still think that the way to go in Lower Makefield Township is carry in, carry out. As soon as we got up to Vermont, I went down to this one park, signs, carry in, carry out. I mean, this is the way to go anymore, I think. So what I'm thinking is that, why don't we put this on the agenda next meeting and see if we can come up with some kind of recommendation about this to the board. To me, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, there's really nothing you have to do other than stick a sign there and take the garbage cans out.
Well, Monica's going to have to give it its okay first, I think.
Well, then we could, I still think we should put this on the agenda next meeting. We come up with a recommendation and then we send that to Monica as well as the Board of Supervisors.
Yeah, get them both. All right.
Alan,
Wait, speaking about the next agenda, Suzanne.
Linda, I wanted to say something about the previous point.
Oh, go ahead.
Alan, you have Kevin on that, and I don't want to disturb that, but I can help Kevin with the Pensbury efforts.
Sure. In fact, you
So
can
I don't
probably
want
have it
to,
all.
I don't want to take over while he's not there, but I can help him with whatever he,
Yeah.
however he proceeds.
Definitely, because yeah, I'm sure he'll need some help. So yeah, put that in the minutes. Gene.
Okay, Alan.
Yeah. So yeah, did you get the email? You did. Yeah, you got, no, you didn't. I will send you that email that Gary Sanderson sent, the school board member.
Who?
You, Sumya,
Okay,
so you're up on things. So you can
Thank
see what they got planned.
Why do you send it to
Send that to me
everybody,
because-
Alan?
I have it.
Or,
Oh,
Oh,
let's see,
you know,
Gene-
what? Resend it to me because I honestly can't find it.
Okay, I'll just send it to everybody.
okay,
You got it.
Just on a quick aside, Suzanne's not going to be attending tonight, but she did ask for an update of our wish list for potential open space acquisition to talk about in the August meeting. So
Wow.
there you go, Alan. You're copied on the email, but you'll see it.
Is Jim copied?
Everybody's copied.
Yeah.
Whoever I sent the meeting minutes to, she
I
replied
never
to
got
all.
anything of that kind.
It just came
Remember-
through.
I don't remember seeing that.
It literally, no, it just came through.
It just came through,
Oh.
she said.
Okay,
Yeah, apparently the township made an offer for some property on Mount Erie Road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 16 acres. It's near the golf course, kind of behind there.
yeah, Alan and I have been talking about that. That property has a checkered history. Years ago, when we did the open space plan, I remember taking a look at that property, and it's kind of a mixed bag. I think it wasn't a highly rated one. It was maybe the next category because it is developable, but you really can't put a lot of houses on it because there's a lot of constraints, environmental constraints. But I think the owner, David Ferry, I think he wants to sell. And I think the board made some kind of informal offer. And, I'm not sure they can do that legally, but I guess they did it. I just don't understand, the process. I thought you had to get some kind of an appraisal, but then again, but to me, any can procure is to the town's advantage. That's a decent property. I wouldn't consider it a great property, but still, it's 16 acres that if we can conserve, either purchase outright or what I think is even better, just purchase the conservation easement on it, then you don't get into the headaches of ownership. I certainly think that's the way to go. And I think for the next meeting, we could put our heads together and, check and see if there's some other properties that would be advantageous to own as well.
Did she give a date, Linda, on when she wants our list?
No, she just said if it's something we can talk about at the next meeting.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll draft up a list of possible properties and a little description, and then we could talk off of that and then come up with recommendations. And you should
Well,
think
you
about
have,
it.
you have the old inventory too.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, everything is on there that you really need. The problem is we're in Vermont and I don't have a copy of that, but
I could send you an electronic copy.
okay,
All right.
that will work. Because it's almost like riding a bike. Jeff Gould and I, about 12, 13 years ago, took us a year, we reviewed 290 some properties. And it's funny, once you've taken a look at those, once you start, even several years have gone by, once you, take a look at the descriptions, a lot of the information comes back to you. But we did have that rating system about A, B, C, what have you. And of course, the A1 properties were always the most desirable because they're the ones that could most easily be developed.
Yeah. Does Linda or Sumya, do you want a copy of the open space
Yeah.
report? Okay, I'll send it to you too. It's a little, how old is it?
I
2007?
think it was 2009, 10.
Okay, so it's a little out of date, but still, it's, a lot of it's still relevant.
Yeah, I think probably 95% of it is still relevant because properties don't go away.
But they get developed.
Developed, yeah, or sold, yeah.
Yeah.
Or so.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well then let's move on to the lecture series. Lee is on the line with us. Just to keep you guys up to date, I have been talking with Monica and Lee about how we're gonna do this environmental lecture. So I guess, Lee, the thing we need to know, so Monica would rather have it during the week, if possible. If during the week isn't good, then I guess then it would be weekends. She said that if she does have it during the week, there are a lot of people who use the community center during the day that would actually be in attendance for it. So I guess it's up to you, Lee, like which days do you want and how many days do you need?
All right, well, hello, everybody. Well, the last, Linda, you sent me something like they were talking about a 4-hour presentation with lunch provided by some supermarket or something.
That's an option also, if we go that route.
Yeah, I think, from my perspective, in terms of people staying awake, I think 4 hours or 2 hours is going to be too much. So I think 2 1-hour sessions or 3 1-hour sessions would be fine. I can do it. I would rather not do it on weekends. My only restriction would be I'm teaching it over at Temple's Osher Lifelong Learning Institute on Tuesday mornings. So that would be the only time that would kind of get knocked out of the box for me. But otherwise, I'm free and clear.
I think personally, 2 1-hour sessions. I think after an hour, you start losing people. And I think, if Lee can get his message across in 2 1-hour sessions, I think that's the way to go. I think the people attending, the retention rate is, I think, much higher. You have, shorter. If you have like a 3 or 4 hour session, I don't know about anybody else, but after about an hour, it's going in one ear and out the other with me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's for sure. And, I'm trying to take a somewhat technical subject and put it into layman's terms. And I think in 2 1-hour sessions, I could give a pretty nice overview and, because I would focus, well, it would be up to the audience, but I could give a good presentation on renewables. And I think that, from this commission's perspective, I think that's what you'd want to see. But, and how to integrate renewables into the present infrastructure. It's not as simple as just building a wind farm or a new dam or something like that. But 2 1-hour sessions should handle it.
So would you be able to do it during the day or would it have to be at night?
Oh, okay. And like I said, anytime except for Tuesdays. Tuesdays would be tough for me unless it was a Tuesday evening.
All right, let me find out what days she has available because I know she said once fall hits, nights are hard because she's already got things that are already on the schedule. But
Yeah.
let me work with her and see what 2 consecutive weeks she could do this as.
Yeah, well, Linda, whatever's convenient, because I can tell, like I said, the only day for me really Tuesday would be kind of knocked out of the box.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, we can take Tuesday out. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll email her. Actually, I'll copy you on it, Lee, just so that so that you can put in your input. And then hopefully we can get this hammered out quickly and then get it on the schedule. But it would
Okay.
probably be something for the fall, like something September. Like, what is there would September-ish work for you? September, like early
Yeah,
October?
September would work, October would work, November would work. My teaching at Temple starts, I think, September 27th, if that's a Tuesday.
Okay,
And if you want to attend my sessions in Temple, it's only 10 one-hour sessions, once a week.
Ooh.
So, everybody's welcome.
okay. I'll send that out tomorrow then. And we'll see what we can get on the schedule.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right,
Oh,
thank
and,
you.
Just one thing, Lynn, this would be a Zoom thing too?
That I'm not sure of. I think it's just gonna be in person. Cause I did
Okay.
ask her if there was a way that it could be videoed and she doesn't think that it's possible. I mean, I know we had that issue with the last presentation also.
Yeah, the arrangements they have is, if they have it, they can have it on Zoom. But if they have it on Zoom, anybody attending has to be given a separate call-in number. It's not like this. Technically, Lee should not be on this call like this. He has to come through, outside the committee link. Like right now, we are doing something which is not allowed. So if you have an online session, then that's how everybody else participates. So that the speakers I was in touch with were not in favor of, because you have to come via the, whoever lets you in, introduce yourself, etc., and then ask your question and things like that. So just for the record, if we call anybody else, that's how we are supposed to call if the person is not a member of the committee, including Lee. That allows you to record the session, because in Zoom you can directly record the session. If you can choose to do it in person, which is no recording, but you meet face to face, and you can do, you're free to give your presentation and interact directly. They also have an option of hybrid, wherein anybody online has to use the same option of calling in through a different number, and like the regular township meetings.
Yeah. No,
So just for your information, we're not supposed to invite any person outside the committee to this call. They have to call in through another call-in number for non-committee members.
oh, yeah, I think that's what I did. But from my perspective, I would rather teach 100% face-to-face.
They're open to face-to-face. Face-to-face
Yeah.
is fully open now.
Yeah, but then, I've been involved with some things where people are doing things face to face and people can zoom in, but, I was just throwing it out there, but I
So
I
they have
definitely
all
need
the three
face to
options.
face. Yeah, and some type of chalkboard or something so I could make drawings. That's it.
That you have to
Okay.
check with them. I'm sure they must be having some kind of a whiteboard, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure they should have such
Yeah,
infrastructure with them.
yeah.
I'll find out. Okay. Okay.
So there is
All right.
another suggestion for a lecture. It's still in an idea form right now. But one of the residents had this concern that invasive species keep getting planted on township property because of lack of awareness. And in both cases, I think it was Boy Scouts projects. So this resident, Catherine, who was one of the presenters at the last session, suggested that, maybe we should get in touch with the Boy Scouts leaders and, arrange a session so that they understand that this is not on. And I don't think they even know that they need to get administration permission. So I don't know what is happening about the current project. Suzanne said she will take it up, but I don't know what the follow-up on it is. We haven't.
What
heard
I
from her.
understand, the project was not a planting project. It was a relocation of plants that were in existence. The project was actually a deck project. So they moved the plants where they wanted to put the deck. So the plants were already existing,
And they were hostas.
as far as I know. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Yeah, that's what it said, that 100 hostas were planted. That's what the publicly published article said, apparently.
Like I said, that's all.
So that's different information. What is printed in what I think it's a Yardley Voice or something, she said. She referred to an article there. So that is publicly published. So I suppose they must have got it from the project person or the project, the troop itself.
Well, it's my understanding Suzanne said she was going to take care of this.
I
To
know,
me,
so I just wanted to know whether there's any follow-up on that, or should we ask Suzanne, what is the follow-up?
well, I think you're right, Sumya. We should ask Suzanne, what is the follow-up? But to me, I don't understand that. Before anybody does anything on township property, you would think the logical first step is to get approval. This.
But I think they did that. Like I said, the project from what so Monica and I were talking not about this, but it came up. The project was not a planting project. It was a relocation of existing plants. The project was a deck project.
It's a little different.
Yep, yeah.
This
I
is
think
all
that
I'm
is a
told.
little
I know
different.
nothing else besides that.
Yeah, but that's different from what has been published by a reporter, right? I'm presuming the reporter gets the facts before they publish. So that's an opinion. We don't know for now, the reference is the article published publicly, right? So, and from what we know, Suzanne said she will take it up. So we just need to know the follow-up. That's it. What happened? That's all we need to know. And there is this Catherine's suggestion that this is the second time we've come across this. The other one was planting in front of the community center, which had that Lirairopi, however you pronounce it, planted under the signboard. So her suggestion was that maybe we should reach out to these local groups and have a session informing them that, these are all the possibilities and what is allowed on township property.
We're gonna ask Suzanne about it next meeting.
Okay.
If she wants to go forward. All right.
So the other topic under 7, Monica, when I was talking to her, this was actually the reason her and I were talking. She said that Aqua PA has donated funds, apparently they are someplace in the township, for a sustainability project. And part of those funds are going to be used for rain barrels. The rest of it we can figure out. But basically Aqua wants the money specifically related to some sort of water conservation.
Yeah.
So with that, with the rain barrels, we can start talking about different educational pieces to that.
They talking about having enough money to purchase a bunch of rain barrels and giving them out to the public as well.
Yeah, I don't think that is part of it. I don't think she wants to, I guess it's not completely determined. She was talking about maybe doing it at a lower cost as opposed to giving them out so that the homeowners would have some sort of investment in it.
Well, we actually did that. And I think I mentioned this before, 10 or 15 years ago. And it was a master gardener lecture. I forget if I was giving it or was part of it or what, but we had a grant and we ended up giving, I think, 50 or 60 of these barrels away. And the way it actually worked is whoever registered first, the first 60 ended up getting the barrel. But the master gardeners have, I think, some canned lectures on this as well, rain barrels. I might have given one years ago, but it's a little sketchy now though.
Yeah, I mean, we can look into it. Monica can look into it. If we're going to do, if this is going to go forward, there should be some sort of education piece associated with it.
We have to have somebody to give the lecture.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But we need to research into that to see who we can get to give the lecture.
Right. All right. Lecture.
So she did say she wanted to actually come in and talk about this, but she wasn't available for tonight's meeting. So I'm hoping she's going to be available for August's meeting.
All right.
What's G?
I guess we're on item 8 now.
On item 8, yes. Any updates, Sumya? Paul's not here.
No updates yet.
All right.
Yeah.
Item 9, we can't really talk about some of it. we can talk about the second two comments, I guess, the draft of the Play for All document.
Yeah, I'll try to get that out, a draft of the comments before the next meeting. I don't know if you heard, but the township now is going to focus on 3 studies. One's Makefield, how that can be improved. One is Snipes, whether, what should be done there. And the third is working with Pennsbury School District to come up with fields. So those are the 3 efforts. And I'll try to make the comments fit into those different efforts, the 3 different things. Most of them will be Snipes. There are some Makefield comments though too. So yeah, I'll get that out before it's August 4th, I think, our next meeting. So
I think you're correct.
yeah.
And then I guess Community Day, do we know if we want to participate? Guess we need to know.
We need I think 4 people, and I don't think we can decide. I know that Jim and Jean aren't going to be here.
I don't think I'm supposed to be away that weekend.
So it's looking not good, but I guess we can officially decide next meeting, August 4th.
Okay.
Because the actual event is August 27th, so that still gives us time. I mean, we might be able to put a few handouts out on somebody else's table. Maybe the township has a general table or something.
We always knew that. It always happens.
It's usually red.
Anything else to talk about? Anything that we want to bring up for next month?
We talked about that carry in, carry out, but that was under the recycling. I think we'll put that in as an agenda item next meeting.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to write up something on that, I mean, a brief description of what it is. Because Suzanne, I don't know. Give people an idea what we're talking about. But it seems like it'd be helpful.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
Okay.
we're just about at 7.
Pretty much 7. All right. Call this meeting to adjourn.
Yeah,
Yep.
Well, what-
Everybody's done.
yeah. I second.
Yeah.
You said you first and seconded. Thank you, Alan.
I'll second it, and I think everybody is second or third it or whatever here.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your night.